Okay, again. A few quick painting tips that I should have covered to begin with, but hopefully you decided to watch all of these before just starting and painting along with me. 1. Whatever you do, make sure you clean your surfaces well. And I talked about the spider webs, the dust, everything else. Clean your surfaces well. If you clean once, clean 3 times. Number 2. You will get covered in paint if you're doing a piece of furniture, especially a piece of furniture in a tight area where you're painting above your head, like a table. So put down a drop cloth. Now at paint stores you can get fancy canvas drop cloths, which professional painters use, and they have special paint paper now to use as a ground cover. Because of coronavirus, of course, I couldn't go to the paint store because the paint store is apparently not an essential activity. Liquor store is, paint store isn't, whatever. Luckily, the liquor store is apparently an essential service for a lot of people, especially these days. So I scrounged a bunch of empty cardboard liquor boxes, flattened them out, and layered them on the floor before I started painting. Number 2, wear a smock. Really? If you think you're going to be neat, you're probably not going to be as neat as you think you are. You'll just thank yourself, so wear a smock. So what we're looking at now is approximately 3 hours into the project. And yes, the paint looks a little pilly. That's by design. It's the acetone. In general, when you're doing a French Farmhouse white finish, you use water-based paint. I had latex, so I cut it with a little bit of acetone, which made it in places a little pilly. Once it's entirely dry, I'm going to use a piece of scrap towel to just brush things away. And then I'm going to lightly sand with my fine grit sandpaper again. And then I'm going to get started on my next coat. And yes, I put on about 3 coats of primer on the legs, about 1 on the tabletop. The legs are nasty wood. They've never been finished in any way, so the paint really sucked in, and I wanted it to be a little bit more finished down on the bottom because the surface matters more on the top. So 1 coat of paint, 1 coat of primer paint as smoothly as possibly applied on the top, about 3 or 4 on the legs until it stops soaking in. Whatever you do, put down the drop cover first and wait until everything is completely dry before you start dusting off the paint pills. Good luck.